Let's do it. Hello, everyone. Really happy to be here on this session with Philip and Lena about the Future is Now camp at the Gathering of Tribes. Those two are absolute powerhouses. I'm really excited about what you are co-creating in general in the world and at the Gathering specifically. I'd love to get us started by getting to know the two of you a little bit more. Can you give us a really quick intro into who you are and what you're about?
Yes, that. Hi, I'm Philip. I'm one of the co-initiators of the Future is Now camp. And I'm moving between a few different worlds as I work with regeneratively focused startups. I advise them, I support them, I invest in them, and I do a lot of group work and personal work. So I work as a one-on-one coach. I organize and dream up and create experiences. It's a whole package of the pieces that I think are really important for a future worth living for, right? It's the humans and it's the big systems and it's technology and it's money. So all of these things coming together in my work and in my creations.
Nice. Yeah, my name is Lena. I'm originally from Berlin in Germany, and right now kind of home in a lot of different places. I have a really strong heart for community and for communal living, and that's not really my job. I invest a lot of my time into it, and I don't get paid for it. Um, yeah, I think it's part of my purpose though, because like bringing people together and really understanding kind of the intricacies of collaboration, of cooperation, of groups and organizations. That's my work also, and kind of what I'm here to enable to really find new pathways of how we work together, how we create together, how we navigate big organizational structures without kind of creating domination systems. So I work as a facilitator and as a consultant when it comes to team building, but really like more the fine tuning of really creating good foundation for exceptional collaboration and finding more conscious ways of organizing and working. And there it really touches on everything from decision making to roles to money, and eventually, and I think that's a really important point, also to how I navigate the world, because you can't really do systems change without also doing personal change and personal transformation. Yeah, and I'm really curious how can we create in kind of every space that we inhabit, whether it's work or home or community, how can we create kind of experiential spaces for blueprints of a way of regeneration? Because I really think that regeneration, is also planting trees and technology. And I think first it's a way of being. So how can we cultivate that way of being? That's a really big question that moves me in all different areas of my life. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Yeah, I have the same question. I love the complementarity between the two of you, but I also love the very holistic approach that you both have now in terms of, as you were saying, Lena, different spaces. So what is regeneration at individual level and at collective level, but also bringing the inner and the outer regeneration into all we do, it's been a fascinating theme throughout those conversations because obviously you see emerging some camps or some organizations or humans that are really focusing on the inner, some that are really focusing on the outer, some that are really looking at technology. And I love all of this, but I love seeing the humans that are like, no, actually, I'm gonna make a stand and literally put myself in the middle of all of this, and the work will be to bring them together, no? Which is, I think, really needed and beautiful, this work of weaving and bringing together. I think this may be a nice segue into Future is Now. What is it?
I think you should start this time.
Yeah, I was just thinking when you said like bringing all these different pieces together, I think that's kind of also the essence of the Future is Now, because it's really this at the core, like at the heart of the Future is Now is this idea of what happens if we bring kind of all the different puzzle pieces together. And the puzzle pieces in this case are right? Like humans that really burn for something, that burn to create a future worth living for in their respective area, and to know and to recognize that like it's not enough if only the crypto people do regeneration or only the artists do regeneration. So what happens also if we kind of let them, like if they start talking to each other and if we break out of our bubbles, and to facilitate and enable that kind of interdisciplinary dialogue is a real like core intention and desire and also reality of the futures now. So those are also the people who come together, I would say.
And as we are straddling all these different worlds and pieces, it's almost impossible to kind of get through of that just by like using the mind and talking, like these people talking. It's more about experiencing what you said, the blueprints, like experiencing something unique when all of this comes together. And so when we started The Future Is Now about 2 years ago, we really wanted to focus on that experiential space where we can have these folks come together. They somehow speak different languages sometimes, but in the end, we're working towards the same thing. And really, how to embody that, and how do we kind of take that in from each other? And also, quite frankly, The Future Is Now is a little bit of our experimental field, right? We work in a context or an investor context or with startups or with NGOs. And this one is also a place where we can just say, hey, this is what we do. Come join if you vibe with what we're doing. And so this is the mix.
Yeah, I
I
would
love
love to
it
add
so much.
a
Sorry.
lot more.
Yeah.
And like you said, you can't solve it through the mind only. And I think it's really crucial, like for me, kind of human connection and quote unquote intimacy, but more like in the intimacy of the heart, you know, like recognizing the inherent humanness of each other, like that, like seeing each other at that point that can transcend maybe not all differences, but then can transcend a lot of differences if you can feel each other there and you can meet there. I also actually think it's the foundation for great collaboration, and certainly for like this kind of dialogue when, especially when we're holding a lot of diversity. I think it's really important to cultivate that. So that's kind of the place where we start. You know, we don't start like, oh, what's your opinion? You know, it's more like, hey, who are you? You know, like, how are you feeling? What are you bringing? What is moving you? Yeah.
And doing that in the context of this system change or this future creating, right? If we're meeting on this very human, like being level in this larger context, then automatically things will unfold towards something.
Yeah. I mean, you could be talking about the gathering of tribes, so I have nothing to add. But yeah, I find it super beautiful, and I've been really fascinated for a little while now about experience design, right? And a lot of people tell me, yes, but okay, the gathering is great, but you know, why should I come? What will it look like? I need something more concrete. And it's been a fascinating sort of riddle to solve in terms of communications, because my answer is what you both just said, is you have to experience it. I'm sorry, it sounds maybe kitsch, but it's real. It's until you are in a space where you're surrounded by people and you experience being with them in the collective and feeling and seeing the collective come alive, you can't really put it in the mind. So I think once you've experienced it, there is this translation that can happen. But yeah, I have so much respect and I'm full of gratitude for people like you that put the energy into creating such spaces where people can experience regeneration or other things and then work from there, right? Rather than the opposite. So beautiful. What about your camp? Can you tell us a bit more about what you plan to have there? Or if you don't have anything planned yet, because maybe this is an open space for experimentation and co-creation, what kind of people you'd like to invite to join you in that space?
Yeah, I would put maybe two different things out. Is one, what type of people will likely come already, and how like how people others can join that. And then also, we don't have a full program yet, but we have some themes we are working with, and that I know some of the other people are working with as well. And the people who who were or part of Futures Now in the past, and also some will join the camp this year. It's usually folks from different, coming at Regeneration or creating this future we're looking for from different angles. So we have artists, we have activists, we have really community builders, we have decolonialization workers, we have people who come from a crypto angle, from an entrepreneurship angle.
Beautiful.
We just put us. So it was quite a wild mix. People who do grief work, but everybody there is somebody who really stands in their creation in some kind of way already. So this is something that we found really powerful when people come together and say, hey, I hold this piece and I want to bring it together with other pieces and then like synergize and learn and teach from each other. So that's something that we invite people, if you are working in one of these areas, or maybe you're holding multiple and you don't know, do I fit there? Do I fit there? I'm spiritual, I'm a business person, and I also love like interpersonal work, right? So which camp do I fit? I think this is us, because yeah, anyways, all of that is kind of all in the same bubble and going the same direction. So these folks will be there. And the themes that we have been working with over the last 2 years is a lot around community building and community building tools. And that can be really interpersonal work, that can be meeting each other, can be around power structures. So how does power flow and how are decisions made? We also work a lot with money, so personal money work and systemic money work. So this is an interesting area for us because there's so much locked up in money, in what we use money for and what we could use money for if we're unlocking all of the stories and the history that we have and that we collectively there. And now I pass it over to Lena because she probably has a bunch of things to add as well.
Yeah, I was just thinking that like there are certain aspects that we hold also that we facilitate and enable, and I feel like the Futures Now really lives from people bringing, what Philip said, like what they stand for, to bring that in. Like like we had things around, decolonization, but also re-indigenizing ourselves. So like really having indigenous people share a way of like how can we remember our own
roots,
and things around movement and art. So like there are certain areas that we hold, and then there are certain areas that we actually need others, because that's the whole thing about the puzzle pieces. So I would say like people who want to join, I think it's important that they have a sense of purpose, whatever that looks like. It can be in almost any area, I would say, but the sense of purpose and direction. And then like that they are curious to share that and to explore also this like the cross-pollination and the intersection with other disciplines, but also other people and projects. I think that's kind of the foundation. And if then they want to bring something to the camp, there's a lot of openness because, as I said, like we can only really create this holistic piece with other people, who hold other pieces. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I think it's a wrap, to be honest. Everything has been said, or at least enough, that I really want to join your camp now. Is there anything else you want to add before we close this one for the day?
Maybe just that people can also reach out if they feel like, oh, this could be a thing, but I'm not quite sure. Like, please just reach out. We can have a 20-minute call, and I feel like often things will be much clearer after something like that.
Yeah, I want to echo that. Is we are already a group of some people who know each other, but super happy to have people who just vibe with what we just shared. If you feel like, wow, there's resonance, oh, this is interesting. I would love to spend a few days with these people in the larger camp, in the larger gathering. Send us a note. Super, super, super welcome.
Nice. Beautiful. Thank you so much. We'll put all the links in the description or the comment section, link to your camp, link to the website also, and maybe an email address to contact you. Thank you so much to both of you. This was really beautiful, deeply grateful, and excited to see this being birthed.
We're excited to be part.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks, Audrey.